I've had to go back and refer to this quite a few times already. I'm going to quadruple check that I've got all these cables running where they need to. Well, here's one of those really rewarding jobs. I've just wired up a 9-volt battery, giving credence to that old saying, the learning is in the doing. I tell you what, it's really handy having a diagram. I mean, that sounds nonsensical, right? But yeah, I'm very pleased. I've had to go back and refer to this quite a few times already just to make sure that I'm doing things per diagram plan, and sometimes you do forget, so great to have that reference. So with the battery location, obviously it has a positive and a negative terminal, and I could place the battery with either the positive to the right or the left. And so does it matter? Well, consulting the diagram, I've actually got 3 large cables that need to go to each terminal. So it doesn't really matter from that point of view. But what I have decided to do is to put the terminals so that they're facing that bulkhead, which means all the wiring connections that will go there will actually be set back against that bulkhead, just to make it a more discreet installation. The other thing that I have to sort out now as well, now that I'm in the role of unboxing, this DC-DC charger by Enerdrive, which I've pointed out before, it really does come with great reviews, as does pretty much all of the company's products. So I'm pretty pleased to have this. This is new territory for me, so I don't exactly know a hell of a lot about things, but I do know that it's got all the latest technology, and so I'm pretty happy to be going with this product. So this will be sited right next to the battery against that bulkhead, a great location, plenty of room for that, and all the wiring will come out of the bottom here. So I'll probably site it fairly high up underneath this navigation desk. So what I need to do is decide on the location so that I can start to finalize where and how I'm going to run these large cables to the battery. Well, the next moment that I'm approaching cautiously, I'm going to quadruple check that I've got all these cables running where they need to. The diagram is so helpful to be able to bounce that off of, actually, because I'll need to make a decision about where I'm going to cut some of these. And obviously, you don't want to make a mistake at this point in time. I am looking very forward to getting these finalised. That is, getting the labels on and getting the lugs on, because that will actually mark the end of quite a mentally stressful and big learning curve moment getting to this point. Well, here's one of those really rewarding jobs. One of those jobs that everything's prepared. The task is super simple, which will involve just putting things in place, marking 4 holes, drill those holes, bolts in, nip them up, job done. These sorts of jobs are few and far between, actually. It's usually a lot more involved, as you know. And then I can take it in the boat, finish that wiring and actually start connecting cable to gauges. And a thanks, obrigado, to Duca e Roberta for your episode 186 shout out. Thanks for that. Well, there we have it, finished panel. Pretty happy with that. Now it's time to take it into Mistress and see what it looks like. I also wanted to just explain, in recent months I've had problems with the mic, a lot of distortion, crackling, not very pleasant to listen to. You might have noticed that in some of the videos. Anyhow, new microphone, so hopefully no more cracking. Well, here's a satisfying little test. I just wanted to make sure that I had the right cables from where the house battery will be to the nav station. What I've done is, have a look. I've just wired up a 9-volt battery to 2 of the cables which came through together, and then so obviously that little test is a win. I'll do the same little test with both of those other pairs of cables as a way to make sure that there's continuity with those cables. In other words, to make sure that there was no break in the feed of those cables. We weren't rough with them. We were going pretty damn careful. There shouldn't be, but very easy to do this little test now, so why not? Well, I'm pleased to say that I'm well over halfway with getting all these connections for the cables for the power supply. Actually, I'm probably on the home stretch really, which is good news. And I tell you what, giving credence to that old saying, the learning is in the doing. So I definitely have been feeling like that the puzzle has been coming together as I've been doing it. I've done more electrically in the last couple of days than all of my life. It actually kind of astounds me that I'm even doing it, to be honest. But further to that, I've even bought myself today a multimeter, a digital multimeter. I can't say I know how to use it, and that's the truth. I've actually read the very, very brief handbook that comes with it, but I think essentially it assumes that you know what you're doing if you're going to be buying one of these. I only need it for DC, so obviously it's going to be simpler than trying to learn both AC and DC. All the same, I need to work it out, and I will be getting more learning done to work out how I can use that. But it's a good one. It's got all of the important things that Nigel Calder said it should be. So now I just need to learn how to use it. It has a lifetime guarantee, so it's got to be decent if it's a lifetime warranty, right? Anyhow, I do look forward to learning how to use that properly. Next thing to talk about is, with regards to fitting those terminals on the cables, I just thought I'd share a couple of tips. You can see with these large cables that I've got that glue-lined heat shrink. If you heat it until you can see that glue coming out of each end, that obviously is going to seal the very ends, not to mention that it's full of glue on the inside. But I just sort of kept going. I can't say I read that anywhere, but that seemed to me to be a good idea. So I just heated until I saw that glue coming out, and I figure that's got to be sealed, right? Another thing when it came to this clear heat shrink, I found that because I'm using that over the top of the labels, if you start applying the heat over the actual writing side of the label, often it wants to crease, and I did need to sort of press that out as it was drying to try and flatten it. So what I did was I started heating on the side opposite where the actual print was, so that if there was going to be any wrinkles, they'd be on the back. And when you look at the other side, it's a nice clear finish. So just a tip. And the last thing to say is I now need to do some soldering. This battery monitor, the fittings on the back of that are so small. It's got those tiny little screws, and there's no real terminal that I can put into the end of them. Not only are they small, but they're so close together, so you just wouldn't be able to fit a terminal in. I actually spoke to Enerdrive and asked them about that, and they said just solder the end of the cable, poke it in and screw it down. So that's what I need to do. Got out my trusty old 240 volt soldering iron. I've given that a very good clean right back to bare copper. So I'll need to tin that and then get soldering on these small cables so that I can actually get those wired to the gauge before putting it in the panel. There's still plenty of wiring ahead for Mistress, people, but I reckon that I'm past the halfway mark, plus some fun reward labelling. Well, it's one of those catch up on a few little jobs time. Could I ask you a quick favour request for watching my video? To like, subscribe, click that bell and share it. I'd really appreciate that.